Hello, welcome to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all of the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. Welcome to day 11 of the 12 cast-ons of Christmas. Can you believe 11? Amazing. Still going strong. And many of you out there are also going strong, so I really appreciate that. I'm recording this on New Year's Day. This is my last day off of work, so back to work tomorrow. I think it's going to be difficult to get back into a routine. These kind of in-betweeny days are kind of weird, aren't they? You never know what the day is, what the time is, what you're doing, what your name is. So yeah, if you've been lucky enough like me to have some time off and you're getting ready to go back to work, then yeah. I feel your pain. So today's cast on, not sure how far I'm going to get, in all honesty. This cast on has been one that's been on my list. I knew that I wanted to make this project and I was meant to swatch for it, and yes, swatch. You didn't hear me wrong, I am swatching, but I'm swatching for colour rather than for gauge. So some of you may already know what I'm about to chat about, because I've been going on about doing this swatch for ages. I want to cast on a Love Note, which is a pattern by Tin Can Knits. It's a lovely sweater. I'll be doing the cropped version because of the amount of yarn that I have. And I have a couple of choices for my yarn, and this is why I need to swatch. First off, before I show off the yarns that I'm going to be playing with, Friendship. I've been trying to tie a bunch of my projects for my 12 cast-ons this year with Friendship, and this pattern was gifted to me by my lovely friend Lisa, who is Use Your Yarn over on Instagram, and she gifted me this pattern back in August for my birthday, and I've wanted to cast it on ever since, but you know me, I always have a ton of things on the go, and with one thing and another I just never quite got around to doing it. So this has always been a firm, definite, I'm going to do this for my 12 cast-ons. So if you've been watching the channel for a while, you will have already seen me flashing these yarns, because as I say, I've been chatting about doing this swatch for ages. My two options are this lovely yarn from You and Ply, which is a Poledale silk mix in the Astarock colourway, I think that says. And I've got some bright yellow mohair to hold together with that. So for the Love Notes, you hold two strands together. The pattern uses a sock weight yarn and a mohair. You can just use a double knit yarn. The pattern suggests if you don't want to do the mohair, or you want to choose a different yarn. And when I chatted about this before, I think this was the favoured combination out of the two choices that I'm going to show you. Yeah, I'm going to do a little swatch just to see how those colours play together, and that's one option. The second option that I have, and I love this yarn, this is a yarn from Ainsworth and Prynne. It's the Linnet colourway, and it's an alpaca silk 4-ply. Both of these yarns I purchased at Wonderwall, not this past year but the year before. So this is the second yarn, which is a gorgeous sort of beigey background, and it's got these gorgeous sort of rusty flecks and blue flecks. And I have two potential mohair options for this. So I've got this sort of brick type orange, or I've got this really super bright orange. So yeah, that's the second potential option. So while we've still got some daylight today, I need to whip up a couple of small swatches just to see how these colours play together and make a decision. I also have got a ton of other stuff that I want to do today. As I say, it's my last day before I go back to work. I really need to go around the house and take down all of the Christmas paraphernalia, because I think once I go back to work I'm probably not going to have the energy to do it. I've usually taken them down by now, but yeah, just been too lazy. So I need to get all that done, and there's a couple of other jobs around the house to do as well in preparation for going back to work tomorrow. So I probably need to stop sitting here chatting to you and actually get on and do something, don't I? I am as intrigued to see what colours I go with and whether I actually get any progress other than a bit of swatching done today. We shall see, and I guess you'll find out in a couple of minutes. I finished my swatches. Hopefully you'd have seen a little bit of a time lapse of me knitting away on those, and they knit up really quickly, which gives me hope that there may be a little bit of progress on this project today. And I think I've made a decision. I've gone backwards and forwards a couple of times, but I'll explain that in a second. Let me show you the swatches. So here they are. As you can see, I ended up doing 3 sections of the Ainsworth and Prynne, but I shall chat about that in a moment. So the first one I did was the You and Ply, the yellow with the yellow kid silk mohair, which has turned out beautifully. I really liked that when I was swatching with it. And then I moved on to the Ainsworth and Prynne, which is that lovely beigey yarn with the blue and rust flecks. Let me just remind you. So there's the You and Ply, and there is the Ainsworth and Prynne. So I swatched with that really bright orange to start with, and I didn't like that at all. So then I moved on to a second slightly lighter sort of orangey brown colour, and I love that little swatch in the middle. And I thought, yeah, this is what I'm going to go with. I just love that it added like an extra dimension, I think, to the yarn. But then I realised I picked up the wrong ball of Kid Silk Haze, and this middle one here is a discontinued colour, and the new version of that is a slightly different tone. So I thought I'd better swatch with that as well. And this is what the sort of current Kid Silk Haze orange looks like, and I don't like it. I know it's a really subtle difference. I know there's more blue in there, which sort of distorts things slightly, but I think you can see here, you see a lot of that beautiful sort of beigey tonal background shining through, whereas the Kid Silk Haze in this one is just a shade or two darker, and it really dominates that sort of beigey colour. I think it overwhelms it. So whereas in this middle section, I think the brick colourway adds something to the finished fabric, this one takes away from that beautiful yarn. So I think ultimately I am discarding those, and I am going to go with a nice yellow Love Note sweater. So yeah, I am excited to cast on now. I'm a little bit disappointed because I loved that middle section of the Kid Silk Haze, but I've only got a couple of balls of that left, which is not enough meters. So my only option would be to, you know, try and scour eBay and stuff, but then I wouldn't be able to cast on today. So and I don't want to be buying more yarn if I don't have to, particularly when the You and Ply yellow is going to look gorgeous. So yeah, time to do a few bits and pieces around the house, and then I'm going to come back and cast on for real. So I would imagine the not even particularly eagle-eyed amongst you will notice I'm in a different backdrop today. Back to work. It is Thursday the 2nd as I am recording this. Back to work with a bang. Although it's kind of nice to be starting to get back into a routine. I actually managed to get quite a bit more done on my Love Note sweater than I had anticipated, mainly because my day did not work out exactly as I had planned, but in a good way. We decided, as it was my last day off, to forget the houseworky stuff. We went out for a coffee and then we sat and watched some movies, which meant knitting time. Yay! But as always, before I get to what I have been up to, time to catch you up with what everyone else out there has been doing, working on, casting on, as has become a little bit of a tradition in these videos, which I love. So the lovely Tammy has started and finished a cowl, is going to be casting on some socks in that Pattern Scroy blue stripe rag that I cast on for my Christmas Eve socks, which is fantastic. And she's also working on some crochet baby shoes for some new little ones that are going to be entering the world in 2020. As well as a shawl she's also started. Tammy has been very busy, so brilliant. Thank you for sharing all of your cast-ons, Tammy. Kate has finished 4 of her works in progress, which is just amazing. She's been going great guns, and she's cast on a New Year's Day project, and she's working on a wrap made from some gorgeous alpaca yarn that was a gift to her, so that sounds like it's going to be absolutely dreamy to wear. Danny started her blanket and is also trying out a bit of knitting, so brilliant. Well done, Danny. I hope you get on okay with that. I'm sure you will. Killy Loves Amies has been working on projects that she already has on the needles, so no new cast-ons at the moment. She's got 2 projects on the needles and 1 on the hook that are keeping her busy. And she's very tempted to start the new Susan B. Anderson bunny pattern, which has not long been released. And Susan B. Anderson's toy patterns are just gorgeous, aren't they? So I can see why you would be thoroughly tempted to start one of those. Kim, who is Blue Cherub, says she lost her crochet mojo, her crojo, a little bit over the last few weeks. So I hope you find it again soon, Kim, because I love watching your videos. Projects are always super cute and inspiring. But Kim said that she has started a Goober the Goblin, and I found the pattern over on Ravelry and it's just adorable. So I shall look forward to seeing that pop up on your channel when it's done, Kim. And then Rachel finished off a pair of socks and has also started some new socks and is contemplating her colourwork mitts. So yeah, get those on the needles, Rachel. Come on, let's get all those projects on. That sounded really aggressive then, didn't it? I didn't mean that. You may do as you wish. And then the lovely Judy is making a Floozy 2, which is a lovely sweater by Truly Myrtle, Libby Johnson. I've got the Floozy cardigan pattern in my library, and I purchased that I think when the pattern came out. It's a gorgeous colourwork yoke, but if I remember rightly, it's kind of a slip stitch effect, so you don't have to do stranded colourwork. And Judy's also working on a pair of robin socks, and when she says robin socks, I'm assuming she means from the Robin West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. And then Kathy has been enjoying her last day off, which was yesterday, same as me, knitting along on some socks. So I hope your first day back at work, Kathy, has not been too bad. I hope it's been bearable and that you've had a good day. As for me, my Love Note is living in this Lone Larch project bag, which was going to have my Vertices Unite, but wasn't quite big enough to house the yarn for the shawl. But it's plenty big enough to house the yarn for the sweater for some reason. That just goes to show how many colours are in that Vertices Unite. So yes, I cast on, it's a provisional cast on for the Love Note. I've started around the neck and I've managed to get on to the first lace pattern repeat. This is really bunched up on the needles because I didn't have any longer cords left. We're getting to that point in the 12 cast ons where I'm running out of needles and cords. So yes, this is my fluffy Love Note. It's so gorgeously soft, and as you can see, that lace pattern is starting to appear. I've done the first, I think, 5 rows of maybe a 10 row pattern repeat. So the lace patterning now is about to shift over, which is really fun. So far I'm not alternating skeins. As you know, I'm using this Poledale and Silk from You and Ply. I am planning to alternate once I get past the lace yoke, just in case there are any differentials in the yarns and the way they've been dyed. But I didn't want to alternate around the yoke and faff around while I'm doing the lace. So once that's over and I get onto the body part, I shall be winding this up and alternating. And yeah, made pretty decent progress. Mind you, this knits up really quickly. 6mm needles, so it's quite an open, loose fabric. But I don't think it needs to be very dense, because this combination of holding your yarn together with mohair, the mohair is going to bring lots of warmth. But yeah, as I say, it's so soft as a cloud. And I don't think, I was a bit worried when I was talking about this colour before that I was going to look like a giant fluffy duckling, and maybe that will still be the case, but it's not super bright yellow, although my mohair is really bright. The You and Ply is a nice sort of goldy yellow colour, so that obviously toned the brightness of the mohair down a lot. So yeah, day 11 of the 12 cast-ons finished. We're nearly there. I hope that until I see you again, you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Until next time, great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now.